Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Dear Belly, never in my wildest dreams would I have dreamed of finishing first on the Kahoot. I do it every day and never gotten 3 questions right. Today I changed my nickname to Sephardi. I guess that must have been it. Ladinado, I don't know, whatever. Okay, may live, grow, and grow up like a fish in fresh waters. Thank you for all you do. He said it in his language. Jorge. I don't know his last name. I forgot his last name. Yossi will throw it in for us. Hello. My Rebbe, Rabbi Chekanow, encouraged me to listen to your shir. I've now finished Soita. This is like a 10-year-old, 11-year-old. And I'm on my way to completing more Masechtas Yisrael, Peretz Weissman. Dear Rebbe, I'm 11 years old, and I do your daf. I want to just let you know, this is from Anonymous. I wish people would write their names. You know, it would be better if people sent in their pictures. Any email with a headshot would be much better. Then we get to know people, what they look like, who they are. I love learning with you. It's geschmacked to the daf. Thank you. P.S. Is Hillary Trump Clinton cousins with the Burka lady? On daf Chof Ches Amud Aleph, there was an argument between you and Nachman Seltzer, and you said a word. I want to let you know you finally have a better memory than Nachman Seltzer. This is from an 11-year-old. I think he was talking about something else. There was an argument if I said Tiyufta or something, no?
Me.
And right. Now he called you Nachman Seltzer. It's not. No. I have a better memory, he said. I found it fascinating, the news regarding how they found a dead woman still breathing in her coffin. Somebody came over to me after shir and showed me that piece. How is it related to yesterday's shir? I don't remember exactly. What was yesterday's daf? No. Murzuk b'chaim. Murzuk b'chaim. Even when you're dead, you're not really dead until you're dead. Found it fascinating, the news regarding how they, and then Dr. Factor told me that they used to have a minhag that they put bells in the coffin so that in case you wake up, you get to ring out of there.
That's where the term for whom the bell tolls.
What?
There's a term for whom the bell tolls.
Whom? The bells?
The bell tolls. I think that's where it comes from.
I don't know what that is. Okay. And the fact that this story is relevant to the Mishnah we learned yesterday makes it even more interesting as current events in the daf clash in a very unique way. Please feel free to read the story in the link below. I enjoyed the shir immensely. I also found it incredible how the Yerushalmi and Bavli linked together today as the brisa regarding Trumas and Meisers is in the Mai, which we are currently learning with the MDY Yerushalmi Chabura. Wow. I don't even know if I knew that there's an MDY Yerushalmi Chabura. It's going. Huh? We have. Okay. No, I think I knew it in the back of my head, but I didn't know that people actually do it. Taking on more and more things. P.S. When are you going to be doing a Sion in London next? Yitzchok Mortfield from London, United Kingdom. I got to go to London soon. And Manchester. And this is from Ezra Fried. Mamish Loyig Larosh. I haven't been in one of these. Shmak. That's right. No. He's not a pilot. The pilot sits in the left seat. So he's not the pilot, right? He's taking a little bit of a spatzir. He's also holding the stick like a 90-year-old woman taking a driving test. Relax a little bit. One hand, right? What? No one flies like that, says the pilot, Michael. Go, Baruch Tzvi. Okay. But look at that coast of Florida. Givaldik. Ezra Fried. He comes here. He's, yeah. The koil is sponsored by Anonymous from Lakewood. The Masechta is sponsored by Moshe Banda. To thank Hashem that I'm able to thank Him for everything that I have. This Paras HaChodesh Lili Nishmas Zechariah Bas Yosef. Paras HaChodesh Lili Nishmas Zechariah Ben Moshe. Paras HaChodesh Hashem should open up all the tzinorot of bracha for Baruch Tzvi Nissim ben Shoshana Lea. And by David Notowitz, please, what? Please wish my parents a happy 60th anniversary to Allen and Gayle Notowitz. Or Notowitz. How do you pronounce, Rabbi Isai? Whatever. Happy 60th anniversary. Yossi Siff, Refua shelaima for Tziporah, Necha, Bas, Miriam, by your son. Refua shelaima. By Yaakov Lock. You're going to love this one. Yaakov Lock sponsored today. Why? Because I didn't fully understand yesterday's daf. So, I don't have the connection. You gotta pay up. You want to understand better, pay up beforehand. Maybe we'll start too. The art of the man, this passage of complete Refua for Chaim Tzvi Ben Lea. Oh, the more you pay, the better you understand. He wasn't paying well. All right. What is that? That's not in our room, is it? The wind. All right. Rabbi Yossi, we're holding all the way in the bottom of Daf Ches Amud Beis. And this is a repeat freebie sugya, word for word, basically, that we had yesterday. In the Mishnah, we learned that if somebody was convicted of a crime and they're putting him to death, so we treat him as if he's dead, if that's the chumrah, and we treat him as if he's alive, if that's the chumrah. In other words, if he's married, if he's a kohen and he's married to a Yisraelis, we treat him as if he's dead, and she does not eat truma. And if he's Yisrael and she's a kohen, that's the machine making noise. Maybe we could pull it out of the plug. Just pull it out of the plug. It's going to be a wonderful shir today. I hear a jet airplane in my right ear, and in my left ear I hear, I don't know what. You understand? It's sensitivity. Okay, fine. Fine. So, it's gewaldig. B'kitzer, we have a guy here that's being put to death any moment. Do we treat him like he's alive or dead? We'll go l'chumrah. We'll treat him like he's dead. But if we need to, we'll also treat him like he's alive. Says the Gemara, Ikeda Amri, Omer Rabbi Yosef, Lo Shonu Elo Bebezin Shalev Dikechavim. This is only referring to a non-Jewish court paskin that he has to die. Why? Because maybe he's not dead right now because they receive bribes. Aval Bebezin Shal Yisrael. There's no bribery. Kivin the Nofak Leidina. Once the din comes out, the Ketala that he's put to death, they'll put him to death. The reverse of what he said yesterday. So now everything that we asked on him yesterday is actually a riot to him today. What do you mean? We have to, we Chavtes Amud Aleph on top. There might be a schos, maybe somebody will come the last minute and say that he's Zakai. When do we say that we're looking for schusim? Right before the Gemar Din, before the end, Basa the Gemar Dina, once there's a verdict, of course, if there's a real schos, we're going to not kill him, but we're not looking for it, and it's very, very rare that it happens. In America, I don't know how it is around the world, but if somebody is put to death, so let's say they do it with an injection today. So they clean the skin so he doesn't get an infection right before he dies. Because many times they don't even inject him. Like they'll inject, they'll pull it out, like at the last minute, like they'll get a call. So they have to, there's always a last second over there. Not so much with Bati Dinim. So all this we had yesterday, word for word. But now it's a siyua, it's a riot to what he's saying. That in a Jewish court, there's no last second. In a non-Jewish court, there is. Two people said, we saw the verdict. It was over with. They said we have to put him to death. And these are the witnesses. We kill him right here. So the Gemara says, you see, so the Gemara says, no. Again, we could say what we said yesterday as it's not a good raya, maybe over there because the guy ran away, so we don't look for schusim anymore for him. He himself gave up on himself, or we don't even, as a side point, because a guy runs away. Typically, we look for schusim for you because you're playing by the rules. But if you're not going to play by the rules, you're going to run away. We're not going to go to Friedman Family for you. Toshma. Now it's a good raya. Ishplani nerag. This guy died. This guy was killed. Yossi based on the testimony, we could marry off his wife. But when it comes from the executioners of the non-Jews, This guy died, this guy got killed. So Gemara says, my mace, my nerag, what is it talking about? If we're talking about that the testimony is that he's died, he's gone. So how come when it's by the guy, we don't believe him? We can always trust the guy when he's just schmoozing it out, he's not coming to testify. And over there he schmoozed, he said, oh, I saw so-and-so get killed. Were you there? It was Gishmak in the city square, they killed so-and-so. That's Mesiach Lefitumai. Elalav, so you have to say, Meis Yotzilamos. He didn't really, he's not testifying that. He's going to die. V'nerag Yotzilahari. So this is a Gevaldik Araya. Here you have testimony that they're about to kill somebody, and we're going to take it so far as to say that he's actually dead, and we can marry off his wife. That's what Yosef says. Once there's a verdict, you're going to assume that he's dead based on the verdict, not based on the fact that they killed him. Says the Gemara, no, your whole question, how did you establish this? Because you decided that a guy, when he's Mesiach Lefitumah, you could trust him. In this case, you can't trust him even Mesiach Lefitumah. Loila meis mamish v'nerig mamish. It's talking about that the testimony was that he literally died. And you ask me, how come you don't trust the guy? We could trust him. That's when he's not biased. A non-Jew will lie. He'll exaggerate. He's all excited that his government killed a Yid. You heard? There's a little bit of exaggeration. So you can't really trust him. Okay. Zokte Mishnah, sponsored by Yoeli Friedman. My dear father, Chaim Avram Shalom, Yerucham Ben Yisrael, David Allah Shalom. We're going to have two Mishnayos now. The first Mishnah is talking about somebody who brings a get in Eretz Yisrael, and Amud Beis is talking about a person who brings a get in Chutz La'aretz. It's a big nafkemina. Because in Eretz Yisrael, you don't have to say B'fanei Neftam, B'fanei Neftam. But in Chutz La'aretz you do. Hamei v'geh Eretz Yisrael v'chala. If a person was sent to be a shliach, and he became sick, he became a oinus. As we're going to see on Amud Beis, and Rashi brings it over here, that doesn't mean dafka sick. Any type of emergency that happened to him, his car broke down, whatever it is, whatever you could call an emergency. Hareze mishalchoi biyad acher. So this is the concept. Yediyas hashas. Shliach, oise, shliach. It's Gemara in Kiddushin. I was designated, he made me a shliach to give a get to his wife. I can't do it any longer. So I have the right to give over my services to a second person and let that person continue. And here, Rabbi Yossi is a little bit of a clip to show what exactly happened there. Okay. That's the mitzvah of the Bechusa for today. What? So it happens to be, I have to say, Doilam clapped, Gival. It was a good thing the Doilam clapped. I'll tell you why. Yossi's computer went out at 12:30. I was schmoozing with him, out, gone. Kaput. Avremi was doing like the whole, going remotely into his computer, couldn't figure. 3:40, he sends me this clip. 3:40. So it takes a lot of time, it takes hours. Leon Welcher tells me yesterday that he's going to go ahead and raise millions of dollars so that we could do shots in animation. He says, well, what's this picture you did yesterday with a ship and these soldiers? I want to see videos, clips. Like, you realize each one takes hours upon hours. But we got to do at least two. Of course, that's the goal, one day. Cough it up, Rabbi Isai, cough it. We can't even get a guy to sponsor a Gemara. We're going to do $20 million now. Shtik shver. He got sick, he had an oinus, he fell off his bike, whatever it is, he could send somebody else. Why? Because you don't even need a bezdin here, you don't need anything, you just designate Mario, whoever it is, and you just go weiter, because there's no b'fanei neftam. This happens a lot. I've heard this, like, Rahman Islam, when a young couple gets divorced. So one of the things the chassan always wants is the ring. I spent $10,000 on a ring. I didn't give it to you if we're going to be married for 2 weeks. I want the ring back. here's your get. I'm sending a shliach. Here's the get. I want the ring. You give me the ring, I give you the get. It's legitimate. I think it's normal to give it back, right? Engagement ring. Yeah, not the pruta ring. Fine, I'm talking about the diamond ring, whatever you want to call it. Whatever it is, I want it back. You made it tonight. Now we're going to see in the Gemara, it's very interesting. Is it a tonight connected to the get or not connected to the get? So it says over here, Lo yishalchenu biyad acher. You don't give the get in somebody else's hand. Over here, if he had you're right. There's another shliach. The husband says to Reuven, "Go give the get to my wife. Bring the diamond back." Now you don't lo yishalchenu. You don't take the get and send it with another shliach. He doesn't want the ring. He doesn't trust anybody with the ring. Only I said, "You Reuven, you do it." We're going to see in the Gemara if what happens to the actual get. Is there a gerushin? Is there not a gerushin? Sometimes yes, sometimes not. Machloikis. Let's see. Omer Rav Kahana. Chalakna. If you read the Mishnah, maybe get Eretz Yisrael v'chala. Says Rav Kahana, this is deliberate. It has to be a situation where the guy is sick. In other words, the shliach can't just decide, I don't feel like giving it over today and let me appoint Shimon instead of me. He has to have a legitimate reason. It has to be chala. Pshita, says the Gemara, chala ktani. It says the guy became sick, or any other oinus, but he's sick. I have to tell you, when I read the Mishnah, I thought literally like this havamina. I think that it's not chala. Just saying, listen, he got a flat tire, so he gave it to somebody else. He wanted to do it himself. You don't have to be sick. Who says you have to be? No, kamash malad, that it has to be oinus. You can't just, because logically speaking, you say, listen, what's the difference if I'm sick or not sick? If I could appoint another shliach, so I could appoint another shliach, what difference does it make? No, because you have to understand the das of the mishalech. What did the guy sending? What does the husband want? Does he want you to appoint somebody else? No. But as soon as he finds out that you're in the hospital now, you're in the emergency room, he immediately, al die to the hacha, he said, okay, send it with somebody else. I don't like it, but do it. Says the Gemara, what's the exact case? He said a very vague lashon. Make sure this gets to my wife. Bring this to my wife. Then why do I need him to be sick? He didn't say anything with a strong language. You have to do it. He just said, make sure it gets to my wife. So what's the difference? Who gives it? And if he said, you, it's very specific. So even if he gets sick, it shouldn't work to send a shliach. Rishim Gamliel holds that it doesn't matter if you're sick or not. If he says, bring this get, the vague lashon hoylach, he didn't say at hoylach, just hoylach. Over here, this seems like a problem because it says you send the get with somebody else, even though it doesn't say anything about being sick here. Rav Kahana says you have to be sick in order to appoint another shliach. Over here it says, hoylach gets the lishti, bring this to my wife. If he feels like it, he just switches out a shliach, he appoints somebody else. Doesn't say anything about being sick. If he says at hoylach gets the lishti, the brayso continues, and if he uses a very strong language, at you, he has no right to send it with somebody else. And what if he's sick? Doesn't say anything here. Even if he's sick, you don't send it with somebody else. I don't care. No way. You can't appoint anybody else. Whether he says hoylach, just hoylach, even just hoylach. Sick and not sick is not even mentioned there. So the Gemara, 3 possibilities. Here are the 3 possibilities. Very simple, I think. Either our Mishnah is talking about hoylach, the simple lashon, and even in the simple lashon, you have to be sick. He just said hoylach. You have to be sick in order to switch it out. What about the very strong lashon at hoylach? Then it's red. If he was very deliberate, specific, and he said at you, only you bring it. So I don't care if he's sick. I don't care if there's an oinus. Oinus would be red. Or the Mishnah is saying atoilach, the very, very strong language. And even in a very strong language, there's a way out of it. I could appoint somebody else if he's sick. And what if it's a very weak language? Then anybody could appoint, even without a shliach, even without being sick, nothing. Just he said hoilach. So or it's going according to Reb Shimon ben Gamliel, that even according to Reb Shimon ben Gamliel, it says benkach, there's no shliach. But in the case of chayla, he doesn't talk about chayla. In case of chayla, you could. Those are the three very simple things. But maybe in the way you read it, it's a little bit more difficult to chap immediately. And the way you read it is interesting. Means the Mishnah, and that's why I put in mem over there. The Mishnah is talking about haylach. Vuhu the chala is not really talking about. It's not a continuation of the word haylach over here. It's a new sentence. The Mishnah is talking about haylach. Vuhu the chala is talking about the bracha. The bracha is talking about the Yossi. But the point is that our Mishnah is talking about. He said haylach. And only in the Braisa kind of explains the Mishnah. You only get to change out and appoint somebody else if you're sick, even on the weak language of Hailach. But a strong language, a specific language of At Hailach, there's no way out of it. That's it. You went to the emergency room. You take the get with you to the emergency room. There's no bringing, appointing another shliach. Why? Because he said a very strong lashon. That's teretz number one. V'yibai seima. Another pshat, atoilach. No, the Mishnah is talking about the very specific strong lashon of atoilach. And that's why in the gray box, atoilach is green. There's a way out of it, even in a strong language. Vu the chala, that the Bryce is talking about chala. Ememela, v'chalashani, sorry, where? V'chalashani, yes, sorry, I was reading the line before. Atoilach, v'chalashani. And the reason why Atoilach works is because he's sick. But what if he doesn't say the very strong language of Atoilach, he just uses a very vague language of Hailach, then you don't need to be sick. Then the shliach on his own could give it up, could make another shliach. And you could also say, Reb Shimon Gamliel, our Mishnah is Reb Shimon Gamliel, that even Reb Shimon Gamliel would admit in a case of being sick, that even in Atoilach, he could appoint another shliach. Tanan, hamevi get Eretz Yisrael b'chala. If a person brings a get Eretz Yisrael and became sick, harezim shalcha b'yad acher, he could send it and appoint another shliach. V'riminu. Question: he told two people, give a get to my wife. Or he told three, write a get, and two of you give it. If he said just tnu, Rashi points out, over here he said to three people, kisvu utnu. If he just said tnu without kisvu, then what he's trying to do is he appoint them to be a bezdin, and they don't write it, they tell other people they make a cipher, they appoint a cipher, and they do. Says the Gemara, inu in avashliach loy. It seems like these three people, they themselves have to do it themselves. They can't appoint a shliach. You're telling me in Eretz Yisrael, you just appoint whoever you want to do it. You don't have to do it yourself. Amabaya, hasam time amai, mishum, bezoyin the bal. So it's very interesting. We had already a bezoyin the bal that the wife doesn't want to accept the get. Another bezoyin the bal. Very worried about to respect the husband. The husband doesn't want people to know that he's illiterate. He doesn't know how to write a get himself. That he has to appoint other people to write a get for him. So therefore, he took his best friends. He tells them, you know that I can't read and write, whatever. You do it for me. But he doesn't want these two clowns going around the whole city. Look, hey, anybody can do it for him. He's an idiot. He doesn't know how to write a get. Now, personally, I had a little bit of a problem with it. Nobody seemed to care about my problem. They said I'm a shaita. Said, like the other day, we learned that the cipher writes a bunch of Gittin, he piles them up, so you could give them out, just fill out this part. What? I thought everybody's supposed to know how to write a get. It's a bizarre. How does this? I don't know. Okay, fine. There was a maisa with a maisa. Somebody came from Morocco, and he couldn't read or write. He was illiterate. So he went to Rabbi Yitzchak Abu Chatzer. He said, I need a job. I need parnasa. He says, the Baruch Hu should send you a job that doesn't require you to read and write. Okay, so he goes to the job. What is it called? The employment office. He tells them, he says, no, what could you do? Could you read, right? No. He's embarrassed. He says, I can't. He says, okay, we might have something for you. So they send him to a certain place, and he's sitting there in the waiting room. They made him sit there for 3 hours. And meanwhile, there's a lot of books, magazines, newspapers. He picks it up, he looks at some of the pictures, puts it down, the whole thing. And then they bring him in, and they said, what can you do? He says, the truth is, I can't do anything. They said, I should come here. I said, could you read, right? No. He says, we got a job for you. We're in the Mossad, and we need a guy to tear all the papers, to destroy documents. And the point of the Maisa is that Parnas is min hashamayim. We don't know where it comes from. Paid him very well, supposedly. Okay. So this guy doesn't want people to know that he's this Moroccan yid that can't read, right? So it's a bizayon for him. That's the point. That's when he says the lashon kisvutnu. I want you to write it for me. I want you to give it. But in our case, hacha baal loikapit. But over here, the husband is giving a ready-made get. So what difference does it make if you are the one giving it or somebody else is giving it? That's okay. Rava Amar Mishum de Milaninu. Rava says more of a lamdish svar. We're talking about words. Umili loy mimsim l'shaliach. The husband could appoint somebody to do what he wants him to do with words. But the shliach, all he has now are a bunch of words. Nothing you could catch onto, nothing you could grab onto. So what is he giving over to this third person? The husband could say, hey, I'm appointing you. He says it with his mouth. But if you give him something tangible, you give him a get, here. Take this, give it to my wife. So the second guy could take this and tell the third guy, take this and bring it to the wife. And the third guy will do it to the fourth guy. What's the difference? It's just here. My benayu. But where lays the nafkemina? La halacha. Says Gemara, Ike benayu shliach matana. If we have you giving a shliach matana, now I'm giving a gift. I don't know how to write. I'm giving a gift. But it's not my problem to write the shtar for the matana. Who has to write the shtar for the matana? The makabel, the guy receiving it. So I don't care if you appoint somebody else or not. But if it's about words, you can't give over words to another person. So it doesn't matter if it's a get or a matana. The second shliach cannot appoint another shliach because he can't give over words. Look to the Rav Shmuel, Rav matana eina kiget. Ushmuel Omar matana arei kiget. It has the same halach as a get because it's words. Or matana eina kiget because there's no bush over there. V'mamar lo tali hemeno chayfetz ploini. Just to go back to that Maisa, I don't want to go back and ruin the Maisa, but just in case you didn't chap, he was sitting in the waiting room for 3 hours because that was part of the test to see if he's actually going to read something. Okay, chap. Some chap, some didn't. Till the Russians gave him a little spy camera. You don't have to know. You don't have to know how to read, how to take those pictures. V'mamar lo yitarli hemeno chayfetz ploini. Omer shlokish. Beautiful zach. He says, I want you give the get and make sure you bring a ring back. Amr Shlakish, Kanchan Rebbe, the author of the Mishnah, all he's trying to do is, he's trying to teach us a side halacha. If I lend you my car, don't go be a big tzaddik and start lending it out to your neighbors and to your 17-year-old cousins. I gave you my car, you take care of my car. And if you rent the car, don't give it to somebody else. And I got to tell you, my entire life, my father, since I got my license, he says, absolutely not. You cannot touch somebody else's rented car. Don't ever. I don't think I ever drove. I didn't have the schos to drive somebody else's rented car. I think it's because of my father. It could be because of this other mice. I have a very, very good friend who lives today in North Miami Beach, who as a bacher, he borrowed his friend's rented car. And he drove it on the highway. This is his story. I don't know. I can't tell you. I wasn't there. He's minding his own business, driving mamish, 65 miles an hour. Yeah. And all of a sudden, a chair comes flying out of the truck in front of him and hits him, and he spun out and destroyed the car. Police come. They see he's not the renter. So as an 18-year-old bacher, he had to pay Hertz $30,000, and it was his whole life. He was busy with this for 4 or 5 years, paying every month. Otherwise, they would destroy him. So says the Gemara. Omar lo Rabbi Yochanan zu afilu tinoika shel beis rabbim yoiden oisa. Whoa, you think Rebbe has to put this in the Mishnah? Any child knows this halacha. You rent something, you don't give it to somebody else unless you have rishos. You borrow something, you don't give it to your friend. Listen, I think this is very fascinating. Gewaldig. Look at the Masorah Shas. It says here, Zu afilu tinoik shebeis rabbim yoiden oisa. He brings here Baba Metzia Daf Chof Tes. Elu Metzias, Rabbi Isai. Zu. This, even a kid in Cheder knows, because everybody in Cheder learns Elu Metzias. As in the Gittin Ami Lo Yava. So says Rabbi Yochanan, what Rebbe was trying to not teach us a side halacha. If you're going to borrow something from somebody, don't that we know from Elu Metzias, we know from other places. But what Rebbe was trying to teach us is a halacha in Gittin. As in the Gittin Ami Lo Yava. What if the husband says, I'll divorce you on condition it's on top of Mount Everest? If you get there, I'll give you a get. Good luck. Or he says, listen, I want to divorce you on the 5th floor in the attic. Yeah, right, he told the shliach, it has to be in on Mount Everest. And he divorced her not in the house, in another place. I want you to use your right hand. He tells the shliach, when you give her the get, it should be with the right hand. Begir should be small, and the shliach used his left hand. It's fine. First time out. There's a concept called a t'nai, and I made a t'nai. You do 3 jumping jacks, you use your right hand, and you do this. If you do anything different, then it's not a get. I could be makbid like that. So Mamela, what does that have to do with us? I made a t'nai, I said give her a get, but I want the ring. It's a t'nai. Says Gemara, well, so let's qualify it. If she went to the second shliach, the husband said to Reuven, give her this get, take back the ring. Goes Reuven and takes somebody else. Shimon, you do it. You give her a get, take back the ring. Says the Gemara, that if she gave the ring first, and then she got the get, then it's okay, even though it's a second shliach and a third shliach. Why? Because she was makayim the t'nai of giving the chayfetz, giving back the ring, and then receiving a get. That's what the husband wanted to make sure, that he gets the ring back. So he made a condition. Just like you can make a condition right hand, left hand, make a condition. I'll give you the get if I get the ring first. What if I get the ring second? I gave you the get, and at the end of the day, I got the ring back. I had no loss. No good. It's not a get, because that's not what he said. He said, ring first, get second. Ki pligi, hechida omarle, shkol, mino chayfetz, v'hodar hav legita, v'ozaliu, v'yav legita, v'hodar shkol mino chayfetz. So here we have machlokes. What if he reversed it? He didn't listen. Rabbi Yochanan poisel boy. Rabbi Yochanan says that the way it is ma'akev. Why? Because he had a cheshbon in it. He wanted to make sure she's not going to fool him and take the get and run away without giving the ring. So I want the ring first, and then I'll give you the get. The Mela says, Rabbi Yochanan, listen to this. This you have to put in a knech over here. You hear, Mendy? This is very important. Therefore, you never appoint another shliach. Why? Because he might mess up. He might not do the right order. That's what the Mishnah is saying. You hear? Because there's a lemaisa. If it happened, great. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't appoint the shliach, says Rabbi Yochanan, because there's a certain order, and the second shliach doesn't understand the order. He mixed up the instructions. He wants the ring. Okay, I'll give the ring after I give the get. And then it's not a good get. She'll be Eishesish. The reason why he said give me the ring and then I'll give the get, not because he was makbid on it to say there's not makbid. It's just Urcha the Milsa, this is how people talk. Get me the ring, give the get. You get the get and then the ring. Who cares? As long as I get the ring back in my hand, it's a good get. So therefore, you could send another shliach. Says the Eli Mishnah sponsored by Yoili. Oh. Turning in the Daf, sponsored by Friedman Family for our sisters, נחama Lea, Baz, Yibal Chaim, Pנחas Eliazar, and Chana Etel, Baz, Yibal Chaim, Pנחas Eliazar. The Eli Mishnah sponsored by Yoili Friedman, my dear father, Lidishmas, my dear father, Chaim Ram Shalom Yeruchem Ben, Yisrael Davar Allah Shalom. Says, Who said it's not? He's saying that it's not. It's Rabbi Yochanan who says that the Mishnah is makbid and Gittin. No, the Mishnah. He says no. The Mishnah is just telling you halacha. You shouldn't lend stuff. You shouldn't this, but it's not. Who says one is not connected to the other? That's how I learned it. Says the Mishnah. I may be getting this hayom b'chala. Now we're going back to America, to Chutz La'aretz, and over here you have to say b'fanei Necha. Oisa shliach bebezdin u'mishalchay. So since he had a oinus and he wants to appoint another shliach, he must do it in bezdin. Why? Because now v'oimer lefneim b'fanei Necha, the first shliach, the original shliach, he says b'fanei Necha. So now bezdin heard b'fanei Necha, and now you appoint another shliach in front of bezdin. So they already know the whole thing of b'fanei Necha is all good. The second guy can't say b'fanei Necha, obviously, because he didn't witness anything. He's just a shliach now. He must say, and look at the lashon here. Ve'ein shliach achron, the last one. What's the last one? It should be the second one. What's achron? So the Gemara wants to learn from this word that you could have 25 shlichim. One makes to another, and then another keep on going because it says achron, the last one. So he doesn't have to say b'fanei Necha, but what does he have to say? The last one, whoever he is, Mr. 25, has to be appointed in Bezdin. In other words, all shlichim must be appointed in Bezdin. That's what the Gemara comes out. Rabbanon told Avimi, who's the son of Rebavo, go ask your father. Like Reb Shimshon Pincus always says that he was once by a Rebbe and he wanted to get in, and they said, no, it's closed, not today. He said, but I need to get in. No, not today. And then he looks and he sees a kid his age, knock on the door, and they let him in. What's that? Oh, he's the Einikel. The Einikel comes in. He says, Bonim atem Hashem. We're children by Hashem. We get to go in whenever we want. We can ask Hashem whatever we want. So they told the son, hey, do us a favor. Go speak to your father. Go ask your own father. Shliach, the shliach, mashvi shliach Eloi. Could the second shliach appoint the third shliach? That I don't have to ask my father. Or Omer Lahu, maybe it's Revavo. What does it say over there? Huh? The son. It says Achroin. It says Achroin, it doesn't say Sheni. So you see that you could appoint as many shlichim as you want. Each one appoints the next one. But your question should be, when the second one makes the third one, is there a halacha that you have to keep on going back to Bezdin? That we didn't have a question. Whoever he is must say, I am the shliach to Bezdin. In other words, you have to be there in front of Bezdin so that there's always testimony going on that there's a b'fanei Necha. You don't want the husband to come later on and be ma'ayir on the get. Rav Yitzchak says, ask your father, shliach. He started from the end. The question they asked him was, could the second shliach make a third shliach? Shliach, do you need a bezdin or not? That was the question. Just ask, could a second shliach make a shliach? Then we didn't have a question. It's not in shliach. It says in the Mishnah achroin. In other words, not the sheni. So you can make as many shlichim as you want. That was our question. That shouldn't be a question. The last guy says, I am a shliach of Bezdin. So in other words, it was always in Bezdin. Omer Rabba, shliach Be'eretz Yisrael, oisakam shluchim. You can make as many shlichim as you want, not in front of Bezdin. Why? No b'fanei nechta, b'fanei nechta. Omer Rav Ashi, imeis rishoin, batlu kulam. So Rav Ashi learns, we had this like in the Dharma, I think it was, if the husband appoints a shliach, Trump appoints a shliach, that shliach is instead of the husband. Now, Biden or whatever the shliach is, appoints another shliach, so now the third guy becomes instead of Biden, and it keeps on going. But once the original shliach dies, so says Rav Ashi, shliach imeis rishon batu kulam. They're all coming b'shlichus of the first shliach. Imeis rishon batu kulam. Oh, we have some zachin going on here. I think I don't remember what that goes. Oh, fine. Shliach is a shliach. This is shliach is a shliach. Very interesting. My father said when he was younger, he wasn't as established as a Talmid Chacham yet, as the learner he is today. All these shlichim, one after another. If the husband goes pfeifen, I did this on my own. Let me see if I can get there. Right. If the husband dies, this is the case of the shliach dying. Biden goes pfeifen, so all 2, 3, 4. Oh, I messed up the numbers. I did that. Okay. Yeah, that was my fault because I added Biden as a 1. He had him as No. Yossi had Mario as 1. I wanted Biden to be 1 because Biden's the first shliach. Fine. I think I fixed it somewhere else. The point is that just do this for a second. I need to get to the. Let me go here. Oh, here. If the husband dies, that's what he's saying. If the husband dies, forget all the shlichim. There's no more shlichus because it's all coming from the husband. It's not coming from a shliach. So Meili says what's important here is whether the husband is alive or dead. The Baal Kasa, they're all coming from Trump. Listen to the Kulu. Listen to the Kulu. So at the end of the day, if the only thing that we care of is the husband, if the husband is gone, all the shlichus goes. But if the first shliach goes, it's okay. Why? Because he gave over everything he has to the second guy. And the second guy, here's, you see, Panovich. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how it should be. Okay. How Gavril, should we just do, let's do a little bit more. How go, because you started late. How Gavril, the Shodar lo Gittin Dvisu. There's a person who sent to get his wife. Omer Shliach lo Yidanala. I don't know who she is, what she is. Omer Lei. So first he wanted Reuven to be the shliach. Reuven says, I can't be a good shliach, I don't know who she is. Omer Lei, Zili Havala Abba Bar Minyumi, Du Yodala. Go give it to Abba Bar Minyumi. He knows who she is. And she'll give it. Also, he couldn't figure out who it is. The Belzer told me that throughout Chas it says Abba Bar Minyumi, Duhu Abba Bar Marta. I think that's what he said. I didn't look it up. Duhu Abba Bar Marta. So he's trying to say that it's possible that the shliach came. He's like, I don't know. I thought it's Abba Bar Marta. He got confused between the two names. Something like that. Okay. He found all these. Tell us your shlichus, make us a shliach, and then say b'fanei nechta. And when he comes, we'll give it to Bar Yumi, and he'll give it to the wife. How could he give over these words? He was never appointed to be the shliach to give it to the wife. He was only appointed to be a shliach to give it to Bar Yumi. So the Pischei Tshuva brings in the name of the Beis Meir that what? That's what the Gemara is going to say in a second. But maybe he took it back. But Akopanim, what he says, the way they explain it is that the shliach, when he when he's a shliach to bring a get, he's a shliach instead of the husband. That's what he is. But when he's not the shliach, when he's not instead of the husband to give over a get, he's just a shliach to bring somebody else, then any kind of fluctuation in the shlichus, it ruins it. That's how he explains. Fine. So over here, since he's not the shliach to give the get, he's just a shliach to bring it to somebody who that somebody's going to give it. And this, we had a whole discussion the other day. What about mail? Could you put a get in the mail? So Rabbi Schoenberg was an aide in Bezdin where they sent a get in the mail, literally in the mail. And so I don't know how that worked, Rabbi Schoenberg, because I looked it up in Shoshana Lea. It says that you shouldn't use the mail, and then it says that according to Ramah you shouldn't. According to Mechaber you could, but if Mishum Iguna, sometimes they were makel, there's certain kulas. And he said a very interesting thing. The get came with a note and said, look, there's going to be 3 holes in the get. One hole by this letter, the other hole, it looks like a segel, it's in this shape. Like we learned the other day, if there's a simon muvak, it works. Okay, ayin sham, male, not male. The Bedafka, I think he said that they didn't want to use a shliach. They were concerned the shliach might do something interesting on the way. It's better to do it with a, okay, fine. I go upon him over here, Iksufu. They all were embarrassed. It's a great kasha. It's a shliach shalinitin legerushin. They just told the guy to do something wrong. Omerava kapchinu Rav Safar the Tloser Rabbanon Simuche. Look, he chopped down their legs, and these are all chashav 3 chashav Rabbanim that it's micha. Omeravashi my kapchinu. Why? The opposite. That's what Rav Noam was saying. He wanted Reuven to be the shliach. Reuven just said, "Hey, I don't really recognize her." So he said, "Okay, so use Bar Ben Yumi." But it's not that he didn't want him to be the shliach. He wanted him to be a shliach. And some say that was the opposite. It was the reverse. No, Rav Safar made a mistake by saying that by chopping down their legs. It wasn't the real thing. Or Rav Ashi might do so. What's the mistake? Michael or Rashi might do so. Michael Amarle Aramyumi v'layat. He said specifically, I want Bar Nimyumi, not you, and therefore you're not the shliach, so you don't have the right to appoint them. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.